Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, you two. Welcome back to episode 4 of the Real Valladolid Career Mode Challenge series. In the last episode, we did put together a lovely little run of form. 2 wins and a draw altogether sees us move up to 10th in the table on 11 points. 3 wins, 2 draws and 2 losses all together. But another big test for us today awaits. Once again, back at home. Undefeated at home so far, but Atletico Madrid will be a very, very stern test for us. I'm going to jump straight into the team. Just the one change I'm going to make. Once again, swapping out Mayano and bringing back in Appa, the pacey youngster at left back. I've very much enjoyed how he's played. That extra bit of pace has been a great asset defensively. Okay, here we go. Hoping to keep that man there quiet today. Diego Costa can be an handful for the best of defenders. I'm confident. I think, that we can at least get a draw in this game. Once again, another rainy day under the light. And hopefully, Real Valladolid can do a job on these big boys. Sal's found too much room. That's a great block. Oh, they've hit the bar though. Jeez. Got away with one early on there. Afforded them way too much time. Way too much room. I am going to switch to our defensive formation that we set up against Real Madrid. A nice deeper lie-in formation. One that we can hopefully hit on counter-attack despite us having a lot of the ball at the moment. He snuck in at the back post. It's a lovely little ball to find him though. Defender should be onto that. Just loses his marker behind him. Rifles it at the near post. It's not a great start. And now we've got a lot of work to do. It's another great ball, but it's a great save by Masip. They are finding these pockets of space way too easily. Alright, we've made it into half time. It is still only 1-0. It hasn't been a great half for us, as you can see there. Our single chance on goal. And they've dominated the possession as well, to be honest. They've had a couple of good chances along with the goal. I don't know, I'm not really sure I'm going to do it at the half. Something's got to change, but I'm going to leave it for now. Bit of a hairdryer treatment at half time. Hopefully they can sort themselves out in the second half. Maybe find an opening, even try and get a shot on goal. Just keep losing the ball cheaply. Can't afford to do it against the top teams. You get punished. No! Another loose ball. Trying silly passes at the back, and they've pinched it, and they've made us pay. 2-0 down. Still haven't registered a shot on target. Can imagine the fans aren't too happy with the performance so far, so we're gonna change it up. We're gonna go on the attack. Stop sitting off, because now we gotta go for it. Last 10 minutes, let's at least get 1 goal back. We'll try and get a shot at the bare minimum. He's found space again. That's a great tackle. It's a double tackle from Salisu. Offside. Yes. It's a lovely ball. And We get our first shot of the game in the 92nd minute and our first corner. And that is it. Jesus, that was a rough game. Defensive masterclass, as to be expected by that man there and his team. Diego Simeone just could not break that defense down. And they made us pay down the other end. A couple of silly chances. Silly passes from the back. And we dropped 2-0. Absolutely dominated us all over the park. But sometimes there's not much you can do against the big boys. They're the big boys for the reason. So it wasn't the result we wanted from the last match, to be honest. The 2-0 loss isn't the worst of defeats, but the way we lost with not much of an attempt on goal to be noted wasn't a way I wanted to go down. But following on from there, a slight change of fortunes for us. I have been keeping an eye on the youth scouts, looking to choose long-term prospects over short-term half-decent players. I have managed to get myself 2 5-star scouts. Now they have cost us around 6 million between the pair of them, but being 5-star, this guarantees us the best opportunity to find these top young players who will strengthen the squad in the coming seasons, or if they don't even fit into our side, we can sell them for a good amount to other teams who want to come in for them. I'm going to set up the scout instructions and I'll get back to you when they are all sorted. Okay, so here are the 2 scout instructions. The first one, in the hopes of finding the next R9, the next Ronaldo, in order to complete our challenge, I have sent Ricardo Pastore to Brazil for 9 months to find a technically gifted player. Now, the problem with technically gifted is not guaranteed to be a striker. They could be a winger, a centre attacking mid, even just a bog standard centre or midfielder. So it all comes down to whether the players are there available to us and whether the RNG dictates we find them. But along with the Colombia and Brazil, I've decided to get some homegrown players in, keep it a bit more realistic. So I've sent Jean Bruyne to Spain, haven't sent him anyway, kept him in the country, looking for a defensive-minded player. Now this doesn't necessarily mean a CDM or a centre back either. It could. What I'm hoping for is a couple of decent young prospects that can play fullbacks, because that's currently our problem area. We did sign Sumare for the centre defensive mid spot, and he is doing a brilliant job in there so far. And the 2 centre backs I've currently got, I'm more than happy with. Especially Salisu, he's been an absolute animal in the back 4 for us so far. So I'm just hoping for some decent fullbacks that can strengthen the squad. I am going to try something a little different this episode, for the sake of not dragging this whole series out too long, and the fact that we've only got through three games per episode so far, barring the first one, which we set up the club. I am going to skip through a couple of games. I will play them, but I won't show full highlights. I'll just show just the goals and the final score. There'll be no face cam for them ones. And as you can see here, we got a couple of easy games. Well, not easy games, but we got a couple of low profile games against Athletic Bilbao and SD Eibar, but then a big game against Barcelona. So I'll get back to you with the commentary on that Barcelona game when we get there. And we have finally made it. The big day has arrived. We are going to the Camp Nou, the new camp. We are away to Barcelona. Honestly, the preparation before this match, the last two matches, they were really poor from me. The loss to Bilbao was just as bad as the Atletico Madrid one. We didn't really make any chances of note, and we really struggled in that game. Bilbao kept us under pressure nearly 90% of the game. Only now and again we managed to break free, but we didn't manage to create anything of note. And the last game against Eibar, two really sloppy goals to give away. I dragged the players out of position and they found the space in behind and punished us with it. But at least we didn't lose the last one. It did end up as a 2-2 draw, but still not an ideal scenario going into a big match like Barcelona. Hopefully a better performance going into this one. Hopefully the big occasion can get some of the boys playing again. This is going to be a very tough test. Barcelona are always very difficult to play against. The way they keep the ball, and that man, the little magician, Lionel Messi, is always a threat. We've managed to avoid complete humiliation against the previous two big teams in this league. Tell you what, that's not a bad off at all. Not much in terms of entertainment, but we haven't really troubled them, but they haven't really troubled us, to be honest. I'm very happy that half. We have played a little bit deeper, but we've gone forward. It's not like we've sat back and camped in our own half. We have ventured forward. I think the chance of a draw is still on the table for us here. Waldo's got the pace on Piqué, but he's knackered. It's a lovely turn inside. Strike that! It was so promising as well. Waldo is absolutely knackered. He's put a great shift in. I'm going to bring him off Plano. Unfortunately, he hasn't got quite the pace of Waldo, but I'm hoping as the game goes on, his fresh legs might prove to be more of a match for Jordi Alba out there. Where is he going with that? What is that header? I can't believe what I've just witnessed. And I've forgotten to turn my webcam back, the camera back on. As you can see from the I'm absolutely gobsmacked. We've been absolutely shafted, boys. Completely forgot to turn my camera on for the first half of that match, and it's taken an absolute travesty of a goal to remind me to turn it back on. Unfortunately, we are 1-0 down because of that. Gonna need more than that to beat Ter Stegen, to be honest. Just ambitious. Last changes. Gonna bring Soumare off for Fede, get some fresh legs, and bring Brahim on for Villa. Brahim on loan from Real Madrid. Hopefully he can do some damage against their big old rivals. That's a cracking ball to find Payet. It's another terrible goal. It's took a looping deflection to the back stick. And that little magician is there, waiting. It's a huge deflection off Salisu. And that is all she wrote. A bit of a nightmare of a game, if I'm being honest. We didn't really have any chances. They didn't really have any chances either, to be honest. Payet does well to get down the side there. But a massive deflection. Goes through the legs of Salisu. Through the leg of Salisu. Loops up. Appa's not expecting it, but Messi is. And it's a free header. And I've already shown the replay of this goal. I mean, what can you say about that? What can you do about that? Oh well, that's the way it goes sometimes. That's the highs and lows of football. And we move on to the next games. As we done earlier, I'm gonna go through the next two games, just show the highlights, and I'll finish off this episode, leaving us on a big game at Sevilla. Another one of the big teams, obviously not as big as the top three, Atletico, Barcelona and Real, but they're usually there or thereabouts challenging for Europa League, Champions League places. Obviously winners of Europa League, I think was two or three times in a row a couple of years ago. So they are a very, very tidy outfit indeed. I'll get back to you after I've played the next two games. And right there, the highlights from the last 2 games really showing the ups and downs of football. Starting off, bouncing back from that defeat against Barcelona to a 3-0 resounding victory over Mallorca. Ben Arthur, fantastic on the day, pulling the strings, got himself 2 goals in the process. And then it all comes crashing down to earth for Real Valladolid with a massive 3-1 defeat, the biggest defeat, well, the most goals we've conceded in one game this season against Alaves, who, if we had beaten, we would have had a chance to go above them on the table. The goals we did concede in that game we were a bit unfortunate to get them, and we did miss quite a few chances ourselves, unfortunately. But sometimes that's just the way it goes. That's football, and we have to bounce back from it once again. Another tough game in the next episode, starting off with home to Sevilla. But before we leave, we do have a little bit of good news. We have finally got our first youth prospect into the squad. A young centre back by the name of Martin Costa. He is Spanish. We got him from the first round of scouting from the Spanish scout, and he's coming straight in at 17 years old, already worth 700,000, which is absolutely fantastic. Usually, the higher the starting value of a player is around like 60,000 to around 250,000. So I've got a really good feeling that this youngster right here, Martin Costa, is going to be an absolute world beater in the future, and hopefully can come straight into the first side within the next couple of months or so. But unfortunately, that is all we have time for today. We're going to leave it just before the home game to Sevilla. I've been Davis. If you've enjoyed, leave a like and a comment on anything you'd like to see different. Any signings potentially. We're coming up to the January transfer window. But yeah, that's it for today. Like I said, I've been Davis. Thank you very much for watching. Good night.